Hi guys, welcome to Quarantine Cookie. Today, cookie? Restart, please. Welcome to Quarantine Cooking. Today we're making patty melts. We're going to start off by chopping off both ends of the onion because this is going to help it so it's easier to peel the onion after we're done. So just cut off both ends. Just like this. Yes, do that, queen. Alright, so my onion had this gross, spot in the middle, and I was like, wow, this is disgusting. I don't even know if I want to eat this onion. But then I was like, girl, we're not going to be wasteful. Peel your onion, find the spot like you do when you're trying to get your tape. You just got to find the right spot, and then just peel that sucker off. And once it's all peeled, go ahead and cut it in half, just like this. Put some heat behind it, and then I just took out the gross core because kind of looks like my onion was rotting from the inside. So the rest of the onion was fine, so I just took it out. I know, kind of gross, but look at that. Disgusting. So now we're just going to go ahead and chop our onions into kind of a bigger slices, just like this, and then go ahead and start separating them out so they're easier to put into the pan once you're finished. So just separate them. Be careful, your fingers will smell like onions. Don't cry. I know onions cause tears sometimes, but there's no crying in my kitchen. Not today, at least. So now that our onions are all glamorous, it is time to take them and put them into a bowl so we can get them ready to be cooking. We're going to caramelize these onions, get them nice and brown. So just slide those suckers into your bowl and then get yourself a medium-sized pan and put it on the stove. I set my heat to medium-high because I want to cook my onions slow and low, getting them a nice caramely color. Put some butter in the pan, slap your onions in there, melt your butter, and then you're going to put your onions in the pan and let them cook for a while. Put some salt, pepper, garlic, stir them up, and time to go. So for my patty melt, I am using Swiss cheese. So I'm just trying to get the package open because it's kind of hard to get open. So it is just Best Choice brand, which I don't really know what that's the brand of. I got it at my local grocery store. So just go ahead and open your cheese. And then we're going to go ahead and cut a couple slices. I started off with 10. I ended up cutting up 16. That way I could do 4 per burger. I made 4 burgers. Pop it on a plate and you're ready to go. So normally for burgers, I know that you use beef, but for our burgers today, I am using pork because my mom is super allergic to beef. And if I made her beef burgers, we'd have to pull out the EpiPens and she would go into anaphylactic shock and we'd be taking a trip to the hospital, which wouldn't be a great time during quarantine because we're trying to avoid going to the hospitals. And we don't want to get Miss Rona in this house. So now you're going to take your burgers and just squish them out. You know, really just squish them like you would do, I don't know, a bug on the ground because We want to get them not super thin, but a little thin, you know, slim thick, which is cute. So now I'm trying to peel this burger off of my cutting board, and it's very difficult because it's really not that easy to peel wet meat off of a cutting board. And now we're using salt. I only salted one side of the burgers because honestly I kind of put a lot on the one side, and I was like, I don't want to make them too salty because I hate when things are too salty. And I was like, I'm making this for me. I want it to be right. Now I'm using pepper. My pepper shaker was kind of low, so I look funny grinding the pepper on here because there was only like not that much left in here. So go ahead and grind your pepper on there to best of your abilities. Most people have shakers. We have grinders at my house. Now we're going to add our garlic powder and use as much as you want because that's your business. Shout out to Tabitha Brown. I love your TikToks. So add your garlic powder because you know what? We're trying to ward off the vampires. That's how we do it in my house. Now that your burgers are in the pan, let them cook down until they get brown and crunchy on their sides. My camera was full, so I had to just let my burgers cook for a while. And honestly, that's the best thing I could do because my burgers were so crispy and crunchy and they were so delicious. Add your cheese and just let it melt and let it cook the rest of the burgers through. Once you get your bread all cut in half, butter one side of the bread because we're going to cook the other side in our basically pork grease fat delicious sizzling pan. So go ahead, butter your bread. I like to put a lot of butter on my bread because I feel like it makes like a really crispy, crunchy, greasy burger that way. So there's me looking like I'm a server in a restaurant carrying all my bread on my arm, because you know, like when you go to those restaurants and they've got it all over their arms and it's like hot plates and you're like, dear God, how are they doing that? I felt like I just really wanted to master that spirit in my house today. Now go ahead and put your cheese on your bread that you have in your pan. At first I tried to put 3 pieces on there, but like that was not going to work because I didn't cut enough cheese, and honestly I could have cut more, but I was being kind of lazy. So whatever. Now take your already cheesed burgers and pop those on your pieces of bread that are in the pan. Those already look so good. Literally, I want to eat one right now. Now we're going to put our onions on top of our burgers. Oh goodness. Look at me being a hot mess, dropping it in the pan. Maddie, we talked about this. Alright, finish putting your onions on there. The onions turned out being really, really sweet and like, I don't want to say creamy, but low-key kind of creamy. Alright, now we're going to get our Thousand Island dressing out because that's the secret sauce on our patty melts today. And I realized at this point that my dressing needed to be shaken up a little bit, so now you're just going to put a little bit on each burger, and delicious. Now you're gonna cap those suckers like your friend's going on a Tinder date and you're putting on a hat so the guy that she's going with won't recognize you, even though he doesn't even know who you are. Now, it doesn't really matter where you put the buns, but I kind of cared a little bit. Voila!
Water. 3 teaspoons. You go ahead and just put that in there. Do we have it? Wait. Does that say teaspoon or tablespoon? Well, 6 of these. Because I don't think we have one.
That's a tablespoon. Or is that half?
What? No, it's half. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're gonna put butter in there, so.
Good enough or anything more?
One more.
It says cook for 8 to 9 minutes. You can't go any closer. It's okay if you can't. I just want to make sure that you can actually be doing it.
Oh, I've got you in it.
Okay. Come on. That's okay. Broccoli! Am I on video?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to my house for dinner. Go frickin' burger.